Hello, Nova Real Producers. This is your publisher, Kristen Brinley, and I'm here with the wonderful Kelly Gaitten. Thank you so much for being with us.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, and having me in your beautiful home. And she's our May cover story, so make sure you check out our story if you haven't. And Kelly's an individual agent that helped 38 families last year. Kelly, why real estate? So you're a smart woman, you could do many things. Like why real estate for you?
So many reasons, but probably one story comes to mind. When I was working as an assistant, probably making $15,000 a year, I had to go shop for a new car. I was 18 years old, and my father took me to the dealership and dragged me over to the used car section, and I kept going back to the new car section. And I said, I really like this car, and he said, Kelly, that's $14,000. That's just almost what you make in a year. He said, you can't afford that car. Right then and there, I decided that I was going to work hard and find a career where I could afford that car, or even a better one.
Good for you.
Yeah.
That's a great decision.
It's pretty good.
Well, let's see. What has been your biggest challenge as a realtor?
This business is not sales. It's more psychology than anything else, and helping people with the biggest transaction of their entire lives can get a bit stressful. So helping them understand what needs to be done, getting them through the psychological process of buying and selling real estate is a challenge. But I take it on every day, and I enjoy it. I love it. It's what I do.
What has been most rewarding for you helping all these families?
I think just being a part of their lives, getting to meet them. I'm in your home. I'm petting your dogs and letting your dogs out. And sometimes, for a potty break, or occasionally I get to know the kids, and they know me. And oh, Miss Kelly, I cleaned my room for you. So
That's awesome.
It's very rewarding.
How does real estate fit into your dreams and your goals?
So when I first got licensed, I was 22, and I was taking the sales courses. I was going to the rah-rahs and trying to get myself, excited about what I was going to be doing in my career. And one instructor said, "Hey, the best thing you can do is give yourself motivation." So I wrote myself a check for $1 million, and I kept it.
That's awesome.
Because I said, one day I will make $1 million. So
I think there are a few people out there like Will Smith and some pretty prolific people out there who've done the same kind of things. I think that's fantastic.
Yeah, if you set a goal, you'll meet the goal. If you don't set any goals or even track where you are, how do you know where you're going? So,
amen. Define success for us. What is success for you?
I think it's doing what you love, and being fulfilled, having work balance life. It's hard. I mean, anything you do is hard, but you have to find time for yourself, time for your family, and make sure everybody's getting taken care of.
You're pretty zen. This whole space, we're in her office area right now, is pretty zen. Like, how do you create that zen for you on a daily basis, and what do you do to create that?
I actually have gotten into a great program of just getting up first thing in the morning, getting the dogs, taking my walk. Doesn't matter what the temperature is. I always ask Alexa, what's the temperature? And she's like, 12 degrees. But anyway, so we bundle up and we go, and we're walking 2-3 miles a day. And if I don't get that in, I'm really not kind of on my game. But once I get back, I can tackle anything after I've done that.
You told me a tip earlier. You wait to have your coffee till afterwards, too?
Right. So I make the coffee so that it's ready when I get back, and I track my walking with an app. So I want to walk a little faster than I walked yesterday. So then, when I'm 1 mile out, I'm like 1 mile to coffee. Sometimes I'll post that on Facebook, and people think it's funny. And I take pictures too while I'm out. I like nature, and it's a beautiful time of the day. So
That's great, and incremental growth every day. I think that's fantastic.
Yeah.
So Kelly, tell us about your family. Tell us a little bit more about, growing up and,
So I grew up in a small town in Occoquan, Virginia, about 45 minutes from here. 3 kids, mom and dad. Mom and dad worked hard because they had little kids and they had mouths to feed. So my dad worked several jobs. Eventually became the mayor of the town and well loved and the big hero everybody adored. Both parents, mom and dad, worked really hard and they taught us to work hard. They said, you don't get anywhere in life if you don't work for it. So
it's a great lesson.
that's a good lesson. Yeah, I mowed grass. When I was not old enough to drive, I would pick up groceries for people when I was old enough to drive.
And now your family, you talked about, when do you talk to your mom? Tell them about talking to your mom.
So, and I'm walking in the morning, I get up and I, put everything together, get the dogs out the door, and I text my mom. Us dogs are walking. And if she's awake at 6:30, she'll call me. Because I'm usually out the door between 6 and 6:30. If I go any later, I don't get anything done. So, yeah, but I talk to my mom every day. She's a great counselor. She's a great voice. She's an advocate. She's a cheerleader. She doesn't always tell me what I want to hear. She tells me the truth. And sometimes the truth is not pretty.
But so helpful.
Yeah, it is.
How did you meet Steve? Tell us about your husband.
So I started a job at AOL when I was, back in the late 90s as an executive assistant. I was recruited away from Freddie Mac. And my first day, I met Steve. I passed Steve in the hallway, and he asked his assistant to introduce us. Didn't work out right away because I was, still involved in getting through a marriage, getting a divorce. And anyway, Steve asked me out when I was available, and the rest is history.
Tell us about, you had a rough day at work one time, and what happened?
Yeah, so Steve has always been really supportive of me and my job and whatever I want to do. I had put my real estate license on hold when I was working in the corporate world, but I still had it. And I had a really bad day at work, and I came home and I was so frustrated, and I said, I don't know what I'm going to do. He said, do you really want to continue this path of working for other people, or do you want to activate your real estate license and bet on yourself? And I thought for a second, and I said, I would have bet on me.
That's a great choice right there.
That was a great choice. And Steve has a little bit of a gift of insight of kind of what things are good for me and what I need, and I think that was a good boost I needed. I needed that kind of a kick in the pants, so I got that day.
That's fantastic. It's wonderful. Tell us about what you're currently learning about right now.
So I love to read, but I don't have a lot of time because I'm usually in the car. But I take advantage of podcasts. Right now I like How I Built This Business with Guy Raz. Different stories of entrepreneurs building their businesses from nothing. It's not all real estate related. There are some. Barbara Corcoran had a great one, but I listen to them off. I love real stories about real people. Funny or not, I take inspiration from that type of thing. So right now that's what I'm doing.
That's great. It's a good thing to do while driving.
Yes.
What sets you apart, makes you different?
I think my problem-solving skills are what I do best. If I have an issue, or if I find something that needs to be taken care of, I can see it. I can see the issue. I can see the resolution, and I just get it taken care of. And if I can't identify it right away what the solution is, I might take a day, or just think on it, walk on it. But yeah.
Do you have any fun hobbies, interests, things that you really like to do?
I love to play golf. Steve and I play golf together, and we have friends who golf, so we go on vacations and we golf when we can, and paint and draw. And I like music. I like to sing. Steve plays the guitar, so sometimes we'll goof off and do a little singing.
That's great. That sounds like fun at your house. It's fun. What do you believe has been the biggest reason or reasons for your success?
Oh boy. I just think getting up and getting it done. Don't think about it. Really, just gut instinct. Just go with what's going on. And I just sometimes second guessing yourself. You don't get anywhere. So this is a good fit for me. This business is my life. I just get up and go to work.
It's a good way to do things. Kelly, what was your biggest failure, and what did you learn from it?
Gosh, that's hard. I had a divorce, and I don't think that was the failure. I think my self-esteem coming out of that relationship was very low, and I lived like that for too long. I shouldn't have allowed that to happen. I had therapy. I worked through it. I'm a much stronger person today, but low self-esteem, it's not a lifestyle. So you have to work through that and be a better person.
Good for you.
Thank you.
Yeah. What is something you've done that other real producers absolutely should do?
This is so cliche. Seize the day. Don't let the day get away from you. Get up early. Stuff happens. Things are happening. Get your work done and be ready for what's coming. Because there's always something coming. And if you don't take it, somebody else will.
Early bird gets the worm. Yeah, I believe in that 100%. And I don't feel it's cliche. It's one of my favorite.
I live in cliches.
They are evergreen, right? What is the greatest lesson that you have learned?
Kindness and patience are two things that go a long way. So I've noticed and learned in life that if you're kind and patient, things will sort themselves out, and people appreciate it. So.
What do you want to be remembered for?
That I was a good wife, daughter, sister, and friend, and mom to my animals.
Your fur babies are adorable. They are all around here. Tell me their names.
The Belgian Tervuren is Tegan, and the little black and white is Pepper. She's a little mixed breed. And then we have Maurice, who is hanging out at the window over here. He's adorable.
Trying to get back in. Yeah. Do you have a fun or hilarious story for us?
So, every day in real estate is fun and hilarious, believe it or not. But I always make a habit of taking the key out of the lockbox, put it in my pocket when I'm showing property in case, I get locked out. So that's embarrassing. But one day I took my clients to see a townhouse, and we went out on the second story deck, and the door slammed shut behind us, and it was locked. And there were no stairs, and we were up very high. So it was about 80 degrees and sunny, and all we could do was yell to the neighbors for help. Help! Help! I did not know what to do, and I was so embarrassed. And so luckily, the next agent to show the property was there a little early, and she heard our screams for help, and she came around the back, and I had to drop the key down so she could go into the front door and let us out. So lesson learned.
Thank goodness it was a popular property.
Exactly. We could have been stranded there for hours.
No, that was funny. Thank you for that. So Kelly, are there any other tips or strategies that you'd like to give our known real producers?
Sure. I've always been a big user of social media since the beginning. My husband does that for his living. Digital media is his life, and I've just kind of watched him, and he taught me a lot. And I post everything from the dogs doing funny stuff, the cat doing funny stuff, pictures on the golf course, and then I put some real estate in there, or an update for real estate, or I'm going to a home inspection. People want to see that you're real, that you have a life, that you're human. So I'm pretty human, and I put that out there. So yeah. I think that's a great way to do business. And I've gotten plenty of business from my social media postings and questions. And people know that they can call me and I can answer questions for them. I had a songwriter that Steve used in one of his ads for one of his companies. And he reached out to me. He said, I'm buying a house in Indiana and I know you don't sell real estate, but I have some questions. And he knew to call me. So
that's wonderful.
Yeah.
That's some great advice. Well, you heard it here at Nova Real Producers. Thank you so much, Kelly.
Thank you. It's my pleasure.
Yeah, mine too. And have a wonderful day, everybody. You've heard it from Nova Real Producers.